Hey class, it's Mr. Andrews. Just wanted to give you a couple quick updates on where you should be. As we're heading into spring break, you should be finishing revising section 1 of the paper. A couple quick reminders of some of the resources available to you. One, if you haven't looked yet, check out the live annotation, commentary, and tips that I provided in a previous video from class earlier this week and late last week regarding revising section 1. Also, the second resource you have available to you are the Chief Reader Notes. That is the commentary from people who actually grade these things on the introduction section. You can find that linked in a previous class as well from earlier this week. I think that either way, these resources, even if you're already familiar with them, bear going back to and maybe looking at a second time, because it's possible that you'll notice something a second time that you didn't before. The other reason is that you have now the hindsight of having completed the research process. So even if you looked at the Chief Reader Notes before for the introduction, it might be good to look at them now with that level of perspective. It's probable that you're going to see something different, and that going back over your paper with some of those tips in mind are going to make a little more sense now that you've completed the research process as opposed to before. So if you have not taken the time to do that, make sure that you do that, because after break, we're going to be moving on to section 2, and you really want to be able to focus on revising this section by section. You will be absolutely overwhelmed if you try to do it all at once and you're really pushing it off and procrastinating. I will tell you, the quality of the work is going to be far more focused if you're really taking it a piece at a time and really taking the time to focus on that. I know that it can be difficult trying to manage your time when there's just so much space for it. That's kind of how this class is normally, but of course, being at home adds another dimension to that. So I'm really, I really feel for you guys, but at the same time, I want you to know that in some ways, this is exactly the challenge of the class, to provide yourself with the kinds of discipline that is required really to structure your own research, to structure your own time, and to manage your own time. So that's the challenge, but I think you guys are up to it. So the other announcement I have is that as of now, the plan at least is for school to go through till May 21st. Now that's assuming we don't end up going back. At this point, the state has ordered schools to stay closed through at least May 1st. That could get extended. And if it does, it's probable that we'll be ending a week early. With that deadline in mind, one of the things we really got to think about is, even though AP is willing to accept the papers up to the 24th, what does that mean for our class deadline? Because I'm going to have to be able to evaluate these for your class grade at the end of this. So what we're going to plan on doing is we're going to plan on doing this a week before that. In other words, it's going to be due the week before the 21st on the 14th. So May 14th is our working deadline for the paper. Still 2 weeks easily later than what we were originally planning on. So there's still some extra time that's built in here, but we are going to have to collect those a little sooner. So May 14th, mark your calendars, is the new working date for a final deadline on these essays. Guys, I hope you have a good spring break. I'm sure it's not what you planned or imagined or hoped for, but at the same time, I do hope that you take the time to do something really nice for yourselves, to do something fun, and to really just give yourself the space to kind of recoup, recover, and practice good self-care. And I wish you all the best. Stay in touch if you need anything, and I'll see you after break.